Yo guys, what's going on? It's Aces here today with another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about hatchet running and why, in my opinion, I think it is not worth it at all to do. It's not worth your time. It's not worth the money that you could potentially even make. It's just not worth it. I'm going to tell you why here today. But first, guys, I am really sorry that I have not been getting out consistent uploads. For the longest time, I was doing 2 videos a day. Recently, I've just been super busy, and I want to get as much content out to you guys as possible, but I've just been super busy, so I do apologize. Obviously, once wipe happens, I'm going to dedicate literally all my time and resources into Tarkov during that time. Right now, it's kind of stale in the game, in my opinion. I made a little video on that if you want to check it out. Is Tarkov stale? There's a lot of stuff you can do, but me personally, I'm a little Tarkoved out right now. I was grinding so many videos for so long, and I just been busy with other stuff. So everything combined, haven't been getting as many videos out. I do apologize, but I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. We'll still be pumping out plenty of content. Just a little slow right now. Just want to let you guys know what's going on. But let's talk about the video here today, man. We are going to be talking about hatchet running, and is it worth it? Is it efficient? Whatever you want to title it, whatever the title says, it doesn't really matter. You get the concept that I'm trying to get across and that is no. I think hatchet running is actually super inefficient. Now I'm going to show you a couple things here. I got a backpack, a rig, and we have our gamma container. So some of you guys are going to have the just regular alpha container, which is just going to be the 4x4, which is going to be right here. Some of you might have a little bit better of a container. Maybe you bought, I think there's the beta, then the epsilon, and then you have gamma, then kappa. So obviously if you have kappa, you're not going to be hatchet running. That's just craziness. And if you are, you better be recording it for 0 to hero, god damn it, or I'm going to yell at you. Gamma, I highly recommend having EOD. You get all the DLC when the game fully releases for free, and the extra container really is helpful. I will not lie. Early game, it is super helpful. So EOD players, maybe you go ahead and get a couple hatchet runs in, maybe get a couple GPUs, but at the end of the day, guys, I think hatchet running is not worth your time. You got to think of all the time it takes to load in raid, then to, potentially find some loot that is going to be good on quick sell, because you can't quick flip it on the flea market anymore. Now, a year and a half ago, you could do that, and actually hatchet running was super profitable back then. But now that everything has to be found in raid, you might as well take gear in a raid, guys. You might as well take gear in a raid. So, assuming you have a gamma container, which is the biggest container you could have at the beginning of a wipe, the gamma, which is going to be a 9 slot. Assuming you have that, you have essentially 13 slots, and then all your, weapon slots and your armor slots and everything, if you'd find anything in raid. But you're starting with 13 slots right away. You have 13 slots, and you're not bringing anything. So with that logic, you have nothing to lose. But let's say you want to buy a belt rig. This is going to give you 25 additional slots for the price of 30,000 rubles. We're going to go on the super low end with the belt rig here, and we'll say each slot you're going to have 10k worth. You have 25 slots. So in one raid, if you don't bring in a backpack and you just take a rig-only extract, there's hole in the fence on interchange, there's the sewer manhole over on reserve, and those are pretty commonly hatcheted maps. If you just take in this belt rig, which is going to give you 25 additional slots, this is going to give you so much more profit and so much more potential. And then on top of that, if you're still focused on, getting super minimal when it comes to what you're bringing into raid, at least get a smaller backpack. Like, get something small. But if you're going to bring in, a gun even if you bring in a shotgun, a 133 or something, a 153, it doesn't matter. Even if you do bring in a weapon, throwing on a decent backpack, this is another 40 slots. So essentially, just by throwing on a backpack and a rig, which is going to cost you about 80,000 rubles, you're essentially giving yourself 65 more slots, and at 10k a piece, that is 650,000 rubles. So in the same raid, during the same time you're looking for loot, when you have to be selective versus not being selective. So basically, with 13 slots, not counting the backpack, not counting the rig, you have a maximum capacity on the low end of loot of getting 130,000 rubles worth of stuff. Now, maybe you load into reserve and you get the Acez spawn and you get 200,000 that way. Or maybe you get a really nice tech store spawn on interchange and you run up to the 2 tech stores and you grab yourself 3 GPUs. That's awesome. You're saving yourself hundreds of thousands of rubles. But at the end of the day, you're not adding rubles to your ruble count. So if you're dead broke, you're still gonna be dead broke. Just you're gonna have 3 GPUs. So you do save money in the long run, but if you're going into raid with a backpack, with a rig, and a decent kit, you know, a decent budget kit, I mean, guys, there's so much more loot potential, and it really does, once you start doing it, become noticeable. Me as a hatchet runner, when I first started playing Tarkov, you know, even though I didn't have the found in raid flea market when I started playing, it was still really noticeable when you bring in a backpack. I mean, if you needed fuel, now fuel spawns are a little wacky this wipe because of the Bitcoin madness, but before fuel got nerfed, you know, bringing in just even an MBSS backpack allowed you to get 4 fuels out, 4 motors out, you know, 4 propanes out, those items that you need later in the game. Even on those hatchet runs, you just throw in an MBSS and you can just run right to Emercon, right to Railway, or if you're running a rig that has a 2 slot when it comes to, you know, being able to fit a 2x2. This is an absolute mess. I apologize. So even if you're throwing on the LBT rig, that is still 2 doubles that you can go ahead and grab yourself a fuel, a motor, a propane. You can't fit car batteries because obviously they're a 6 space, but you guys get the point. There's a lot more potential with running certain rigs when it comes to just looting and farming loot. You don't have to go in with nothing. You can take a little something in. You got to remember, there's a ton of different cheap weaponry in this game. Go ahead and buy yourself an SKS with a little bit of BP ammo. Make that very small investment. That BP is enough to take down a Chad if you hit your shots. So it's situational, yes. It's kind of up to you how you want to play it, but I can guarantee you guys, having gear fear at this point in Tarkov is kind of useless. There's so many players who have learned so much over the last year and a half since the game has really taken off that these players are just going to bully you if you're being a Timmy. Don't be a Timmy, be a Chad, put on a little bit of gear, get yourself a nice ass backpack, go and raid, get a ton of loot, man, sell that loot, come out feeling great, feeling profitable, and you're going to be good to go. You're never going to hatchet run again. I have not hatchet ran one time that wasn't for a video on this channel. So with that being said, that is why I think hatchet running, you know, whatever you want to say, inefficient, not worth it. Doesn't matter the wording. It's not worth it when you can just go ahead and throw on a rig, throw on a backpack, no matter what the cost and or size, at any rate that you look at it, even being 10K a slot on any of those rigs or backpacks, you're going to be paying off that backpack and then some. So that is my take on that. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about hatchet running. Is that so year and a half ago, or do you still see Timmy's doing it on reserve? I know I see a couple on reserve and I see someone interchange every once in a while, but definitely not like the old days. I mean, every single interchange night raid back in the day, like a year and a half ago, was just GPU farmers. It was crazy. So guys, make sure you leave that like, subscribe if you're new, sponsor in the equipment description below. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. I'm out.